Welcome and hello. We're the Bitches with Beards, and we love to talk all things culture.
On this podcast, we chat our top 3 cultural moments of the week.
It's the Cultural Three-Way. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Max. Oh, that's me. We saw you from across the bar.
And we really enjoyed your vibes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That was actually intentional because
Yeah.
we have such little going on this week. We needed to drag out the intro.
Yeah, I was like, no, that was not me. I've remembered my lines.
And it's also like we are... So just this, while I remember, we'll say this up top. If there isn't an episode next week, it isn't because we finally killed each other.
No.
I'm away for Memorial Day because it's my intention to extend out Daniel's birthday.
Yes.
And then Thursday is my holiday because it's the new Star Wars movie comes out.
Yeah.
So we'll be recording Wednesday. And
Right.
this week is all, and Daniel might have something.
Right. I may have a public meeting. I know I've got one next week. I just can't remember if it's Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm like, oh.
And on top of that, this week has been dried in a nun's knickers. So
Yes.
we're already like
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
So if we just decide to take a week off for the holiday weekend, which is very common for podcasts.
It is. Maybe we should consider it. Are we talking ourselves into a week off?
I am also, and also then we're not going to be getting back from Vermont till late Monday, so it's the editing.
Right.
So we'll have a thing, because the other thing is our culture, for our main culture, would be a thing that I was going to talk to you today because we have so little to talk about.
Right.
So anyway,
we'll see.
Aside from that, Daniel, you did actually have a pretty engaged week.
I had a very engaged week. Lawsuits got dropped. Lawsuits got brought up. Work projects were going on, yada, yada, yada. Work politics happened. But it's a rather interesting time because a lot of things are wrapping up this week and next week, which I am so looking forward to. And if I'm looking at my calendar for the next 4 months, we've essentially, for the past 6 months, been doing party planning.
Yes.
And we're about to go to the party, essentially. And so the planning has been paying off at this point. And I'm just like, I am so ready to be done with the party planning stage, which is really my time to shine. But I'm like, I'm so ready to be done with this.
With parties that were planned out by the previous occupant and have now been taken over by the present occupant in some cases.
Well, here's the thing.
The classier ones.
No, not even in that situation.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's just like, it's a lot of planning that should have happened, that hadn't happened, that it's like, oh my God, we should have done it.
So when I was a film producer, one time I sat down with my lovely former boss, Enrico, and we were on a film set, and we were playing chess on his computer. And I said, shouldn't we be doing something? And he goes, nope, the fact we can play chess on this film set means we have done our job. Is that the sort of stage you're going through? Or you tend to have a lot more going on, though, don't you, on the day-to-days?
I do have a lot more going on the day-to-days, but it's more, I get to do the fun projects that I actually like doing. Like, I get to do the research. I get to manage that document. I get to do that. I get to go to that design meeting. As opposed to, I'm in a meeting talking about budgets, et cetera, and picking out this and that, and the safety of doing this, and oh my God, we can't have this person there. So that is winding down, and I'm like so grateful for that.
Wonderful.
But it's still going to be a very trying 4 months, but it's not as trying as what it could be. You've seen me during one of those party events where I've just been like biting my nails. So like, stuff can still go wrong the day of, but less so. Hopefully. Who's to say now? Who's to say? Anyways, how's your week been?
It was good. On the weekend, we went and got Rosie fully adopted.
Yes, you failed at being foster
We
parent.
failed. And then immediately she got ill. No. She's been scratchy for a while, a lot of allergies. So she's on some steroids now. She had a post-adoption checkup. But she got a bit of an ear infection. And because she's long-eared, she hurt her ear, shaking her head, which is how they soothe themselves. And so her ear's swollen, and she has 2 Yoda ears, and one's actually now floppy and swollen. So I hope it will heal. It has to be drained. It's been drained twice.
But I will say this: she's less scratchy.
She is less scratchy. The steroids seem to be helping. So hoping once the ear has sorted itself out, it will pop back up again. Otherwise, we're going to have a half Yoda. Which is cute. She's still cute, whatever. And
she's still cute.
She's still very cute, but she's snoring like a son of a bitch. That dog snores.
I was about to say, she is quite loud. I've never known one of your dogs to be this loud.
It's scary because Buggy's got his throat problems, so if he snores like that, we're fucked.
That's true.
Yeah, but apart from that, work's been fine. It was a pretty... Yeah, like people have asked me about the job and I say it's pretty quiet in a good way. We're ticking along. There's been plenty of projects to keep up with. I think I'm annoying my supervisor. No, we're not really, but I'm trying a different tact. So like getting sent. So for instance, they sent me a team that's like, hey, could you maybe like extract some stuff from this? And so like getting a transcript of it, highlighting what I want. Scripts, turn it into a script and going, this is what I'll be using for it, and just going through that process a lot more bit by bit, but just because I never really like at NDI messaging was kind of removed from me a little bit, and now being actively more like, no, this is what I've read, this is what we need to include, but also using their institutional knowledge to come back to me and going, actually, we need this, we need that, we need this.
So do you like doing this new direction for you? I mean, that's the question.
Yeah,
are you still getting your feel out with it?
It's creative in a narrative sense and storytelling, but it's just, it's very hard. The time of when you have like you have one job is gone. So as a videographer, my job is I usually get told what to do, but lots of people are now looking to see, they want you to make sure that you have comms experience and that. So I feel like even 6 weeks into this job, I could add this to my resume. I could add some stuff onto my portfolio and already be going, hey, this is what I've been involved in. This is how I went through it.
Excellent.
So that's been really great and very, very refreshing.
So as long as you feel like you're using a different muscle, I think, this is a good thing. It's growth.
It is. But and I said, I'm looking forward to, there's a couple of projects coming up. There's going to be some filming coming up. We're still sort of riding out the last budget a little bit, but it might be some traveling coming up. But it's going to be some in July, so we shall see.
Yay.
What we should also see about is seeing to the extra person in the room, which is you, listener.
Yes, it's time for the warm-up.
It's time for the warm-up. Daniel, let's begin the foreplay section.
Yes. So my culture for this week, there were 3 things, as always. I made homemade gazpacho for my recipe, and it was spot on to die for. It was excellent and everything it needed to be. The key, listeners, is to have a little tomato juice that you can stretch it out, and to put a fresh jalapeno into your gazpacho. I saw a new musical this week that was streaming on PBS, Suffs, the musical.
Oh, I've heard a lot about it.
I would give it a very solid C.
Oh.
Yes. I felt like they were trying to shoehorn just about every feminist suffragette in there. And I was like,
is it a comedy or a drama or a dramedy?
It's trying to be Hamilton for suffrage.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like a lot of like, oh, we're going to name drop here. We're going to have these characters here. And I'm like, you didn't need to have these characters here. You could actually strengthen the plot if you actually devoted 5 more minutes without that song to some of your main characters on the stage. Like it was one of those.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I think a little bit more workshopping could have helped it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm always quite amazed by certain shows and you get there and go, how did no one point anything out?
Yeah, I would say none of the songs are that memorable. Like I've not been playing the soundtrack this week, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you really like 6.
I love 6.
When that tours, we have to all go again.
Yeah, I love 6. I would still go see 6 over seeing.
So 6, but it's like, so 6 is how you create like, and I've been listening to some shows, but no, it's quite surprising when you get shows, and I mean, sorry, I'm distracting for yours, Hamilton I liked, but it's one show that I'm re-exploring song by song in different standalone contexts, and there's one song in there that I kept skipping, and I was like, actually I started to listen to it, I was like, no, and it's starting to listen to songs out of the context. And you do grow, but yeah, sometimes you're left and gone, this is not.
Yeah, it was 2.5 hours that I was a little bit scratching, and I was like, this one could have been tighter, should have been expanded.
The other question, and we'll let you move on, is do you think if you were to watch it in an audience, a person, it would have a different thing?
I don't know that it would feel different.
Okay.
I really don't feel like it was that memorable. Like, I was like, okay, great. Yeah. So, and I don't know if it's because I'm a historian that I was just like, okay. My other culture for the week was The Other Bennett Sister, which is now streaming on
I'm excited to watch
Amazon.
that.
I watched the first 3 episodes, and I complained to you about this. I wish they had dropped the final 3 as well, because they're only 30-minute episodes.
Oh, they'd be tight.
So it's like really tight, and I was like, I could deal with another hour and a half of this, like, and I could have dealt with it whenever I started. Like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, I've got Clear Daredevil. We'll probably watch that, but no, I'm excited.
Fair. I think it's good. I think it's got a really good pace. It is rather memorable. I feel like it's rewatchable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's well, that's actually because you don't get that much. We're so oversubscribed, aren't we? That to actually sit and say, oh no, I could actually go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was in line with the original Pride and Prejudice. Like, I was like, oh, it's not taking away from it.
Yeah.
It works with it, if that makes sense. It's not trying to be something different. But what was culture for you this week?
Mortal Kombat. Talking about Pride and Prejudice. No, I see Mortal Kombat 2. I'd watched the first one this week. The first one is tough. The second one was actually... So I went to... I've seen some bad films. Actually, this is not a bad film. It's actually pretty good. The only thing about it is that I do feel they struggle to... exposition, mainly because it's not they're too earnest sometimes, and one of the characters, I can't remember her name, blonde one, sorry, people know what I mean, she exposises a bit too earnestly, and there's a bit like where Johnny Cage, who's like the Keith Urban character, who I love him. I love Keith Urban.
He's dreamy.
He's very dreamy.
He could do horrible things to me.
Anything. But there's a bit where he's told what is going on, and he's brought into this, and then he's like, what is it? Like, it's like, it's so quick. I'm like, and I think it definitely needed a pass from a comedy writer, like to say, hey, just punch up each of these lines and give them a bit of comedy.
So was the pacing not right?
It was all good. It just was like the tonally, it could have done with some more. They could have done a bit of comedy, just to kind of, because it's so
acknowledge that you're a video game on screen,
and they do it. They do that actually really well visually. Okay. But it's like. The whole situation is so like stretched. I saw the Minecraft movie and thought that was really well done. Okay. I also saw Borderlands, which was not well done, and that had Cate Blanchett in it.
Oh, yes, you were hinting at that one.
But Minecraft was really funny. Because like there's a bit where Jack Black goes, it's like you've got to mine your craft, and but he does it in such a Jack Black way, right? That you're going. And there's a lot of like Danielle Brooks in that going, what the fuck? It's all of this, whereas they didn't have that. Are you seriously? This is, someone could have gone, this is like a fucking computer game.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone's, because they get some gory deaths in it, and you're like, except people do die.
Yeah.
Music this week, Halt and Freddy, or Halt and Freddy. It's a band, Haute.
Okay.
And Freddie, they're just I would highly find them on Spotify. Okay. They're theatrical, they're a bit Chapel Roan, a bit meek.
Okay, you're gonna send this to me in a text.
It's really they popped up on something, and I was like, you are just really good.
Okay, are they? Tell me a little bit about them. Are they like? From the UK?
I don't know anything about them. It's really weird. Okay. I haven't really looked into them. They just came up on I forgot what I was listening to. I think they came up on after Mother Mary. Okay. And I was like, oh, you're good. And I kind of clicked the album, and it's like, I'll put it on after this. Okay. And I was like, oh, I don't really listen to a lot of new music like that. I like some stuff came up this week, and like it just didn't. Muna was like, their new album's good, but Muna.
Yeah, it was like
this one really caught my ear.
Yeah, no, I listened to that new album on NPR, and I was like, that's fine.
Yeah. I like them, but it wasn't culture for me.
Yeah, fair. I get that.
This sort of had like, say, it was all the theatricality of like someone like Chapel Roan. You got Meek, even like Ray. Like it's a bit bigger and more like, let's have some fun.
Yeah, fair.
Finally, my food of the week, a Buckeye from Ohio. It's like a high-end Reese's cup. And it was very peanutty and delicious.
Have you never had one?
No, they don't usually come this way.
I used to make them all the time with my grandmother.
They were so it's a lot more peanutty than a Reese's cup is.
Yes.
Like it tasted like if someone repackaged it and said this is an organic Reese's cup, like I would believe in someone saying that. Its texture was different and it wasn't as much chocolate.
No, it's much thinner chocolate.
Yeah.
It's a higher peanut butter ratio. The horrible thing is like your hands are so oily after you make them. But no.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay, I could have more of these, or maybe not have them in the house because I think I would honestly.
You would engorge yourself on them. Yeah. There are worse things to do, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, God, look at the time, Daniel. We best move on to the main course. So, Daniel.
Right.
No.
The main course of this episode. So, listeners, we asked the question, who's your top, who's your bottom, and who is your lucky Pierre this week?
So, Daniel, who's your top, who's your bottom, who is your lucky Pierre?
Well, my bottom this week is right on the nose. But it's a top in a way. I don't know where to place this one. It was announced that after 3 attempts of taking the bar exam that Kim Kardashian will try no more. Which is proof that
she's like a half liar, she said.
Yeah, this is proof that there is a God and there is still justice in this world because something is keeping idiots from getting into the legal system is all I'm going to say. So, praise be on that one.
I didn't like how she was sort of, again, tapping into the market of that sort of I identify as culture that I felt, and I'm like, no, you got to be trained. There's no halfway point with this.
No, it's an all or nothing.
And I think
there's a license.
She was trying to rebrand it slightly, and I'm like, bitch, you really can't.
You have had legal training, and that is it, but you are not...
And good for you for using that knowledge.
Right.
But don't do this, because you're going to do some serious damage to a profession that's already under fire.
Right, and I think she probably has already. So, anyways. But I will say, my next little bit of news is actually a top for this week. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk assured that Poland will begin recognizing same-sex marriages.
Yay.
This is after 2 rulings, one happening in 2025 and one happening earlier this year, I think March or April. I don't remember which date. This stemmed from a German couple who had their marriage from Germany not recognized in Poland. So anyways, progress is being made, and this is in Eastern Europe. So like inroads.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful. And now for my lucky Pierre this week.
I'm curious.
Hinting back at my party planning that I was talking about, the U.S. Postal Service has announced that Ralph Lauren will be curating a brand new set of stamps for the 250th of the United States. This will include 13 images from his own personal collection, photographed by the designer, that will feature high Americana. This includes flags, sweaters, bears, lighthouses, hamburgers, everything that is the United States, inclusive and equitable, are the phrases that were used in this. It will go on sale on June 6th. So my question is, Max, how do you plan on celebrating the 250th of America, or do you plan on celebrating the 250th of America this year?
So I would hint back at something I said earlier as well, is that I was told by like a couple of people, one person, friend Doyle, is that like a lot of this stuff had been really put into play by the Biden administration, but it hadn't.
No.
No.
As someone who has seen through the administrations, I can tell you that a lot of this had not.
Which is a pity, because we want to kind of celebrate. I don't know really. I know the Hubs wants to get away, but that's also like whether or not we have to start planning on that. I really don't know. Honestly, there's a lot about this country I love. Mm-hmm. I would like to do something to celebrate. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people don't know how to. Yes.
I would say, and that's partially coming up in an event that's being held this weekend on the mall.
Yeah.
That I do not agree with.
What's the one this weekend?
It's the National Day of Prayer. Don't get me wrong, listeners. I do believe in like religious freedom and celebrating that. But whenever you only have Christian representatives and you don't have other faiths, I do have an issue with that. Yeah. That's where I'm at. I was like, no. E pluribus unum, out of many one, which means everyone is included.
Yeah, I'm sure as a group we'll find a way of doing it and keeping it, like we'll fight, we'll grill some stuff, we'll have the dogs with us. I don't know, in a weird, honest way, is that as a Star Wars fan, is that you find a lot of like, because of the way that the parallels that are going on at the moment with everything, is that in a weird way, it's not that I find comfort in it, but I feel like Star Wars being such an American institution as well, is that you're playing into their own rule book. I'll be honest, is like I have found that some of the car adverts to be very like anti-immigration.
Very much so. And those were for the Grand Prix, which is supposed to be happening here in August 21st. Yeah. And there was so much backlash that they ended up pulling out one of the T-shirts, which was highly offensive.
Yeah. I forgot what one it was.
It was a play on the word race. So,
yeah. One race or something.
Yeah, one race. Yeah.
But just also the car adverts like Ram, this is like, we got rid of the British for this. I'm like, fuck you, you know.
Right. Come back, Charles.
What about you? How do you think you'll be celebrating?
I am going to say this. I have been a little bit jaded and bitter over the past few months. There are certain events that I will go to. Like, I think the Great American State Fair, I will certainly walk around in that. I'm going to tell listeners right now, do not get on the Ferris wheel that is going up.
Oh, dodgy.
Yes. Very dodgy from a meeting I had this past week. I was like, oh no, absolutely not. Don't get on the Ferris wheel. But then there's other things like, the 4th of July actual celebration with the fireworks, not going anywhere near that. But then there might be an event that I would have tickets to that I'm like, we may be going to.
Are they going to be as big as they say the fireworks this year?
Yes. Yes, they are going to be as big. Like, I would recommend getting like earphones for the dogs, honestly.
Even Buggy, who's completely and utterly deaf.
Yes, I would honestly get earphones for the dogs so they're not hearing anything. But then, like I said, there might be an event that I potentially have tickets to that I would say that we would go to for that. But yeah, it's sort of a touch and go for me. So
we'll see how it folds out.
Yeah, we'll see. But Max, what about you? What was your top and your bottom and your lucky Pierre of the week?
Well, it wasn't really top and a bottom this week. Well, it was top. The bottom is scraping the bottom of the barrel. Not really. It's scraping the bottom for a bottom. Bridgerton is not going to be doing a 2-year gap this year. It's going to be doing a 1.
Yay. We all win.
Yeah, there's been no explanation as to why they've decided to up here. I wonder whether or not someone did actually do the math and work out it's going to take 16 years to make this show.
I mean, possibly, and I want to say whoever figured out the math, thank you, because it's hard waiting 2 years in between a show.
And how many episodes? 8 per season?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing is I get...
There's no reason for a 2-year gap.
I get they want to tightly script it. I get that. But yeah, you got to remember, Daniel and I are old, and we grew up on network television.
Right.
You know, and it did not take 2 years. Even the BBC does not take 2 years to create 6-hour-long episodes of something.
No.
It's do it, move it along.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one knows. I mean, what this season's going to be very different, I think, but in an exciting way. But
maybe it's all set in Scotland.
I think that Nicola is not going to be in as much.
No, Nicola Coughler, no.
She's going to be in it, she said, but not as much. And I obviously think lovely Jonathan Bennett is going to be less. And I think obviously Simone Ashley just needs to return to heaven as a god.
Right. Goddess divine.
I mean, she's like, her career is exploding.
And I'm so happy for her for that.
My top of the week is Megan Stalter sets her Broadway debut in Old Mary. Apparently, she told a country, a city that if she ever got into Old Mary, this is years back, that she would buy them all cars, so that they're coming after her. But she should be great in that, so I'm excited for that one. And that brings me to Lucky Pierre, which is the Eurovision Song Contest. We don't have much time to talk about it, but you know, this year's been a bit controversial because of Israel being involved, included after the Russia being knocked out.
Double standards.
And then obviously 5 countries, including lovely Spain, have no longer opting to be part of it.
Yes, isn't it Spain and Belgium that are out, which was interesting?
Yes, which is sad.
Yes.
I like Spain. I played you on Spain's tracks earlier. Ireland as well. Ireland for years, they kept winning.
They dominated the 90s, so you're bitter about it.
And then there's a whole Father Ted episode where they basically find the worst song possible because they're sick of, they can't afford to host it anymore. And then last few years they haven't even made it into the final. So times change. You'll be coming over to watch it.
Yes,
sounds which you lovely.
Yeah.
Hubs and I have done the semis. We are excited for some. some we're not so excited about. But there are some good ones.
Is there a clear one that you're like, that is my one?
Mine is, I really like I've got Britain, obviously. Is it Bulgaria?
Bulgaria is the first one we watched last night.
Yeah, Bulgaria is really good.
Okay.
Really good. Australia, you really like.
I think Australia's got a lot of hope of winning. It's a very good song.
Okay.
I wouldn't say in a way it's not my favorite. But it's really good. Okay. And I think that if she and Delta Goodrem, she's been known for, Delta. Not Delta Work.
Could be.
Not Delta Burke.
Well,
that would be funny. She comes out spinning.
Or Delta.
She does her thing. She walks down the aisle.
Yeah.
And that's the night lights went out in Georgia.
Right.
There's a lot of rock. I said there's going to be. You said earlier, how the witchy ones. I said, literally, looks like some of them have literally tattooed their faces.
So every single year that I have watched it with you, there's always been one that's like, oh, we're out in the woods and we're witches. Like, it doesn't fail. It's a different country every year, but it seems like there's generally always that one entry that you're just like, okay, know what you're going for.
Did it, babe, was it Portugal? Was that really, them 5 guys?
Oh, yeah.
And it was just dirty. I don't like guy groups. Oh, apart from Blue. That year Blue did it, and they were hot as shit. They got them where it's Blue. Duncan James has just been... He's my Warner Huntington III on West End.
Oh.
Yes.
Well.
No, it's going to be a good year. I'm excited for you to see it tomorrow.
Well, I'll at least go home tonight and watch Bulgaria and Australia, so I can be like, okay, that's fair.
And the one I really liked...
What was the one that went like with the piano? Like they were...
Yeah, we like that, but I felt that Bulgaria took their place because some of them were good but didn't get to the point.
Yeah.
I'm doing my googling now.
Google it, Sandra.
Was it Dancing on the Ice? That's Belgium. That was a good one.
Yeah. Oh,
so
Belgium's not out.
So I think for in terms of the ones that the non-British one, it's Belgium, Bulgaria, and Australia. I think up there.
Okay, I'll listen to those 3 at the very least. I will be showing up tomorrow in my Union Jack polo.
Yay!
That I bought for that one party that you had.
I've got my Union Jack suit.
Yes, I have to keep re-wearing it over here.
The last time I wore last year when I went over to Whole Foods in my Union Jack, someone shouted at me, "This is America."
Yeah, I might wear a different polo.
No, you should do it. Just be like, I bought a Ram. Well, with that, Daniel, should we move on to the end of the episode?
Yes, we should.
Usually we do ask what's culture next week. Even more important because we might actually have an episode next week.
Yeah.
So what will be your culture?
Like I said, we'll get through the first party of this week, and we'll be gearing up for the second party, which will happen next week. So we'll see what goes on. Lessons learned, probably.
Well, my culture next week is definitely going to be a marathon and the Mandalorian versus Grogu and Grogu. I'm very excited.
TBD.
It's a high holy day.
TBD.
And hopefully dogs that aren't sick.
Yes, we'd like that.
With that, Daniel.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Max. Thank you for being our third this week. Cheers. A big thank you to everyone for tuning in to Daniel Max's Cultural Freeway and for giving us a listen.
Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and review, and follow us on the socials.
You can find us under Bearded Bitch Pod or Bitches with Beards. Please remember that only a mother could love our views and opinions, and they reflect us and no one else.
We'll be here next week, unless we're cancelled.